Good afternoon. Welcome back to Crochet with Lulu. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on a Christmas doily. Now I wanted to use the smaller thread and I wanted to use the variegated. But for purposes of this tutorial, I'm using the Peaches and Cream Gold. But isn't that gorgeous, that colorway? This or the white would be beautiful. It's a size 10 thread. Now you can get this at Hobby Lobby, or Walmart has some of the smaller yarn. It is the size 10 thread. This is in the colorway Very Merry. And I got this at Hobby Lobby. And I absolutely love this. It's 100% mercerized Egyptian cotton, so it's going to be so soft. But I'm using the Peaches and Cream Original for purposes of this tutorial. It is a medium 4, and I can't read all this little writing, so I'm going to skip right over. It's the colorway Gold. It's a worsted weight. So let's jump right in. And if I lag between, and you hear paper rattling, I'm looking at my cheat sheet. Nothing like having a cheat sheet. Okay, we're going to start off with our trusty slip knot. I'm using the 4.5 millimeter hook. This is my dollar quarter tree hook. I love it because I can grip it and it's not too long. It's just right for my hand. We make our slip knot and we're going to start with the chain of 5. Now, I don't think I have done a tutorial on triple crochet. So you will see the triple crochet, and if you need to, feel free to go back and rewind and watch this over again. But first we start with the chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't want your chain real loose and you don't want it real tight, because we are going to be working back in the center of this chain. And we want it loose enough that we can get our stitches in there, because we are going to be working 16 triple crochets with the chain space between them. Now to do a triple, first of all, we're going to make a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That counts as our first triple crochet. Then we're going to go ahead and chain the 5th one, and that is our space between our first triple crochet. Now to make a triple crochet, you yarn over your hook twice. You have 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. You go through this center ring, you pull the yarn through, and now you have 4 loops on your chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. You yarn over and you pull through the first 2 loops. You yarn over and pull through the second 2 loops. And then you yarn over and you pull through the third 2 loops. And then you do your chain 1. So that's already 2 triple crochets. We've got to do 14 more with the chain 1 space between them. Yarn over twice, go through the center ring, pull up, and you will have 4 loops. Yarn through and yarn over, pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops, and pull through 2. You do that 3 times. And then you chain 1. Now, during the process, you're going to have to scoot your stitches over, especially if you use this larger thread. I would typically use the size 10 thread for this doily, but like I said, for purposes of the tutorial, I wanted the stitches to show up. So 1, 2, go through the center ring, pull through, you have 4 loops, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2 more, and then do your chain 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got to make a total of 16. So I'm going to jump right ahead. Like I said, please go back and watch this again. And every so many stitches, you're going to have to pull them over so that you have room to work with, because we're having to put 16 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 10 more. If you're using the smaller thread, you're still going to have to pull your stitches over somewhat. And I forgot to tell you, I'm working over that tail just to get it out of the way. And if you saw 3 loops just then, the thread sometimes splits on this particular thread. So I was just making sure that I had it all in the loop there. This will make such a pretty centerpiece. Now you can use different colors. You can use a couple of different colors in this same one. You just know you're going to have the tails to weave in and out if you use a couple of different colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need 6 more. And it's very important to stop ever so often and count your crochet so that you won't have too many and so that you will have enough. So we need 3 more. And you kind of want to leave that tail out a little bit, so that when you get to the end and you're going to join with the slip stitch, just go ahead and pull that up as you're going, because you will want to tighten that center ring up. Need 2 more. And our last one. And I overkill on the counting. I'm learning to count those stitches and make sure. So you should have 16 triple crochets and 16 chain ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then we have our 16 chain ones. So we go to the 4th chain, 1, and you kind of have to pull that down, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to join right there. And it can be a little booger sometimes to pull that through. And then you pull it through this hook. And then at that point, you want to grab that tail from back here, and then you can snip it off later. You want this as tight as you can. I have a loose thread there from somewhere. Okay, so that is round 1. Round 2, let me look at my cheat sheet here to get it right. We are going to chain, we're going to pull through and do a single crochet. Then we are going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to skip over I'm double checking my, we've got 8 of these. So we're going to skip this one and this one, and we're going to go over into this one and join with the single crochet. That's that chain 1 space. So we're going to pull it up, and then we're going to pull back through, and that's a single crochet. Then we're going to do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip over to here. We're going to join with the with the single crochet. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to skip over to this chain 1 space, join with the single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip over 2 and go over to this chain 1 space, join with a single crochet. And pull me off some thread. Sometimes these rows, they go quickly, but they can be as hard as the one where you have a lot of stitches, because your stitches do have to come out right. And sometimes these instruction sheets are not the plainest in the world. And I make cheat notes so that I can go back and do it quicker when I'm doing a tutorial. And sometimes my notes make no sense to me. So then I have to I have to double look at what I'm supposed to be doing. We need 2 more of these. We skip over to this chain 2 space, do a single crochet, and we do 1 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to join right at the bottom of this one with the single crochet. So we have our 8, 2, 4, 6, 8 little scalloped edges. Now our next row, let me make sure, I don't want to tell you wrong. We're going to work in these little scalloped edges, and we're going to put I'm going to put 7 in there. So we need to be we're right here at the top of this one. We need to be in here. So we're going to join with the slip stitch. Now our first one, we're going to chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because that does our triple crochet. And we need 6 more triple crochets in this one loop. There's no spaces between each set, and in each scalloped edge here we put 7 triple crochets. There's 2, 3, 4, and again you'll just have to kind of move them over because they'll get in your way. Then you can place them back later. 5, 6, and 7. And when you're done with each scalloped, or when you're done with this row, you can just go back and just kind of work those because you want them evenly spaced. We just jump over here to this one and we're going to put 7 in this one. Rows 5 and 6 are very similar. Row 6 we will add another stitch, but row 7, or excuse me, row 5, we're just going to be putting 7 in each one. I'm sorry, I got lost in my own train of thought, and that can be dangerous. See how pretty that's already turning out? And this is quite thick because of the yarn I'm using. But like I said, I wanted to show you for purposes of the tutorial. It's a little easier to see with a solid color than a variegated. So that's 4. We need 3 more. If you make these for your holidays, this would be pretty for a Thanksgiving table. Let me know what colors you used. A pumpkin color with a dark brown would be pretty. And you could make your own variegated by using a strand of the brown and a strand of the pumpkin. I know you get tired of seeing me count. I overkill it, but I'm learning that that's very important. And I like this thread. It splits so easily. But I like it because it doesn't tangle as much as some of the other threads that I use. So we've got 2. We need 5 more. jump into the next one and put 7 more. We do 7 in each scalloped Now, if you don't want to do the triple crochet, you can do the double crochet. Just keep in mind that your doily is going to be a little smaller, especially if you use the smaller thread. You're going to have more of a coaster effect than a doily, and that's fine. That is fine. I take patterns and diagrams and charts and I change it to fit my mood and the area that I'm wanting it for. And I've learned that in making things, it's all about personalizing what you're making. That's what makes it nice. If you use the double crochet, you may want to add extra stitches to the final project, just to make it large enough. But that's completely up to you. That was splitty, splitty, splitty. Like I said, I love this thread, but it will split in a second flat. I do have my Facebook page set up now. It is Crochet with Lulu. So I hope that you will go over there and look at it. I share some of the same content that I do on here. It's just easier for you to share pictures with me of your finished projects, and I would love to see your makes. whatever it is you work on. I would love to see pictures. That's one thing I wished YouTube could fix, is a way that we could see your pictures directly on YouTube. I know that you can share them to me, and then I can share them on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We like one more. We're just about finished with this row. A lot of traffic out and about today in our little town. We've been having a lot of road work, some of the streets, and a couple of them look like a big mess, but it will look pretty in the long run. Now, if you're making this and you get to the end of it and you don't want it so flimsy, now we're going to join with the slip stitch right here. And it's going to be a little bit of a booger to get in there. We're just going to join with the slip stitch. Let me look at my instructions. Okay. Now, we are going to make another scalloped round. So we're going to start with the chain of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to join it to right here. And it's going to be a little bit tight. We're going to join with a single crochet just like we did this other one. That does not look right. So we're going to make 10. Let's do that. Let's change it up, because that just does not, that's not going to fit. So we're going to do 10 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's why I'm saying make the pattern your own, because that just was not going to fit right, and it was not going to lay right, because we're going to be working more triple crochets in the top of that. So we want this scalloped edge to be freeform. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know what they were thinking when they put 7, but that's clearly what the diagram says is 7. But I don't like that, so we're changing it. Now what this is going to be is we're going to put more of these in each one of these to make our doily larger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Join with a single crochet. A single crochet is where you pull it up and then you pull it through. And we're going to do that all the way around. But I hope you'll go to my Facebook page and leave me pictures of what you're working on. I would love to see your projects. Now, in making this larger, we are going to have more triple crochets to add. This row we done 7. This row, I believe it's 8. Actually, it's 9. Yeah. So that's a good thing that I made that bigger, larger. And right now, it looks a little haphazard, don't it? But I promise when you're finished with it, it's going to be very pretty. What I was going to say a few minutes ago, when you come to the end of your doily, if you don't want it so flimsy, I like to use Elmer's school glue. And what I do is I get wax paper and I lay it down on the wax paper and I soak it good. I let it almost dry and then I come back and I soak it again. Now in this one, instead of doing a single crochet, we're going to do a slip stitch right in that same stitch where we started our first one. Now slip stitch, you just pull through both loops. Now in this one, we're going to do 9 triple crochets. But first we have to start our first one by chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Please go back. I'm so sorry. I'm jumping ahead and I need to stay with the program, don't I? We have to be inside here, so we have to slip stitch over into that space. Forgive me for doing a boo-boo. Now we chain 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew. It's been one of those 2 days. I tried yesterday probably 12 times to do a video. And every time my alarm would go off on my phone, normally I will try to think to turn my alarms off within that time frame. But I didn't catch on till I was several videos in, and then I kept getting phone calls, and then I had a neighbor that kept sticking their head in the door, and it was just one of those days. Now we need 9 in here this time. Remember here we done 7, but in this one we're going to do 9. And then we have one more row after this one, and then we're going to end it. Now, if you don't like this edging on this particular row, what you can do is go at the top of each one of these and do a triple crochet. You're not going to have as many, you're going to have the same amount as here, but that's okay. unless you do one before it and then one in the center. And then you'll have your right amount. But if you go on with this one, you put 9 triple crochets in this row. I'm not especially fond of this because I think what I will do when I get to a certain point here is I'm going to join that just so that's not flopping around. But I'll do this one and we'll see from there how we're going to like it. I'm not sure that I'm going to like that at all. Now, English terms are different from the UK terms. So, you just have to, if you're from the UK, I apologize because I know this is not what you call it there. Sophie decided she was very thirsty. Now, when you finish each one, you're kind of going to want to pull them because we're going to join with a single crochet right in the top of that single crochet that we put in earlier. Seven, 8, 9. Not really liking this scalloped edging that we put in before this. So if I make another one of these, I'm going to leave that little dude out. I'm not about skipping rows, but when it just doesn't look right, it doesn't look right. I'm not as displeased as I've gone on into it, but I'm not especially happy with it either. It really needed a stitch in the middle here to attach this scalloped edging to this. So when you're making your scalloped edging, about the 4th or 5th stitch in, you could join it to the middle of these stitches here You've got 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 7. My eyes are playing tricks on me this morning. So you could go 1, 2, 3, and then right here at the top of number 3, you could join with the slip stitch or a single crochet, just to kind of anchor that down. It's okay, but I'm not especially fond of that. It just doesn't jive with me. But as I was saying about the Elmer's glue, if you saturate it real good, let it almost dry, turn it over, and saturate it again, and then let it completely dry. Make sure every bit of it is just soaked with that glue. It will stiffen it. It won't be so bad that you can't do anything with it. You just want to play with the stitches and the threads and make sure everything is laid the way you want it to. But I like the Elmer's glue. Some people use the, I believe it's cornstarch and something else. I've never used that. I don't like spray starch because we have fur babies, and I don't want that flying all around where they're breathing. They're Boston Terriers. They have the little smush noses anyways, and I don't like to spray things like that. 6, 7. Bless her. Sophie says she wants to come over here. 8. She's giving me lovins, and I can't get her off of me. She's a snake. They like to sneak attack their nanny. Okay. She's a snake, I'm telling you. Okay, we like one more if I'm allowed to get that one more in there. Sophie, behave now. He's going to put you in timeout. She knows better than that. She knows Nanny's not going to do a whole lot but give her lovins. She's got the sweetest personality. Her and Bixby both do, and we're so crazy about him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I wanted to make sure. Oh my goodness. They are hoots. I'm telling you what, they are hoots. And I don't know who this pattern is by, or I would say their name, the company. That's why I'm not mentioning who I'm thinking it's by, because I don't want to be wrong and then be called out on it. But like I said, I'm not especially fond of some of the things in it, so when I make this again, I will change some of the stitches around. And I'll probably leave this scalloped edging off all the pieces and just attach my triple crochets here. And I'm going to try to quit talking so much to get this done in a mannerly time. So as I said, just go back and rewatch it and leave out that row if you don't like it. I mean, it's actually not ugly. It's just a little floppier than what I'd like. I was about to forget my slip or my single crochet. This is actually the last row of this that I'm going to do. So again, if you want to leave out the scalloped edging, you would just put a triple crochet before the group of triple crochets, and then you would put one at the top. Like right here, you'd put a triple crochet, and then you'd put one at the top of all 7 stitches, and then another one. And that's going to give you that's going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll give you your 9 stitches if you put one before and after and one in every one. But if you do it this way, I mean, like I said, it's not so bad. It's just, and maybe with a different thread. This thread, I apologize, it's very splitty. Some of the threads I've got doesn't show up well in doing a tutorial of this, and I didn't want to use a huge thread. I'm not going to worry about counting because I want to get to the end and show you what you can do if you wanted to add one more row. So I may not get the exact same stitches in here because I'm going to try to hurry. Ooh, that one split all to pieces. I'm sure it's mostly me because I'm using this big or this size needle. Okay, we're down at the last stretch here. Gonna try to hurry up and get these stitches on here and show you, if you want to go one more row, what you can do. Make it your own. You don't have to follow my pathway. I'm just showing you what you can do. And if you make these, I would love to see your pictures and the colors you use. Seven. 8. 9. Now we're at the end of our row. We join with a single crochet just like we have been. Now we have our doily that we could say is complete. At this point, you're going to want to lay it out, fiddle with your stitches, make sure they're where you want them. Now, if you want to go on and do another row, what you would do is you would come up here and count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You would count over 3 stitches, and in between the 3rd and 4th stitch, put a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we skipped 3 here, so we're going to skip 3. 1, 2, 3. Go right in the center, put a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to skip over here where this single crochet is, and we're going to put another single crochet. You're going to try to grab both of those, but if you can't pull it apart to get in there, to get right in the center, try as best you can. Now you can do that. That makes another scalloped edging, but it gives you one more little punch. You just chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you skip over 3. Getting hung up here in my cheat sheets. 1, 2, 3, and you go in there and you put a single crochet. You're going to want to get underneath it, not in the stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to go right under there, pull that through, and do a single crochet. And then you're going to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, we're skipping over the 3, and we're going to go into this single crochet where we've been single crocheting. Put another single crochet in there. Now you can do that. You're just going to really want to work with those stitches when you get done. I don't especially like that, so I will ravel mine back to the beginning and leave it as it is. But that just gives you something else that you can go for. Or you could do this. Instead of chaining 5, you could go 1, 2, 3, skip 2 and go into the top of the third one and do a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, skip 2, go into that third stitch in the top this time and do a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, skip 2, go into that third one, and then of course that brings you back to the 1, 2, 3. You're going to skip these 2, and instead of going into that one, you're going to go right in there where you done your single crochet before and do a single crochet. I actually like that one better than the big one. So if I were going to do it, I would probably do the chain 3, skip 2, and do that. That's a much prettier edging to me than this. This one squares it off, and I don't like the squared off if I'm making a doily. Now, I've made square Christmas doilies, and they're pretty, but this design I thought was prettier, not squared. But as you're fooling with your stitches, and I'm going to ravel that back, as you're fooling with your stitches, be sure and place your stitches. Now, if you're going to want to end this and not go on, when you get back to this beginning right here, instead of doing the 5, you're just going to join right here at the top. When you finished out this last part of this row, you're going to slip stitch into that stitch, and you're going to pull it through both. Then you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to pull out and tie off. And that finishes your row. And then just make sure that you weave in your tails there that you have. Pull your stitches. Just go through each thing like this. Pull your stitches. Just think what that would look like if we'd left it in that little chain stitch. That wouldn't have looked right at all. I don't know what they were thinking, but they weren't thinking properly. I can tell you that. There you go. Now you have your Christmas doily. Now, like I said, you don't have to stiffen it with anything. But you have the options of starch or, you know, do the homemade stiffener. I like the Elmer's glue because then, you know, eventually it will wear off and then I can just re-glue it and I don't have to worry about it. And I can still, it's not stiff. I remember when I was a little girl, they'd make those real ruffly ones. And they'd be so stiff, they'd knock somebody out. You could knock somebody out with them, it felt like. I don't mind that, but still, I think if I do another one, when I'm doing this scalloped, instead of making the chain 10, I'm going to do the 5 and join it with the slip stitch to this one, and then do my 5 more. And that brings that row and this row together more. But there you go. I hope you'll have fun making these. Variegated, you could do a white and a gold would be pretty. You know, where you put 2 strands together and you crochet with two strands. But you'd want a different, you know, you'd want 2 different colors. Red and white would be pretty if you're doing a Christmas, or red, white, and green, like this variegated. I love this variegated, and this is so soft. Most of this size 10 thread is is so hard, but this is so soft. I can't wait to make something out of that. But there you go. You have a Christmas doily to make. Like I said, go back and watch this again and slow it down. I know I got a little antsy there on the end because of time. I'm already at an hour into this, and I didn't mean to be that long, but enjoy making, and please join my Facebook group. It's not a group, it's just a page. Leave me your comments and say hello to me. Let me know if you've made this and the colors that you use. Like, subscribe, and share my channel. And thank you for joining me here today. Join me back again another day. Crochet with Lulu. Bye-bye.